So, like, what can you give me just one example of what something is different over there when you're driving?
So I was at a pretty big tire disadvantage when I went over there.
Okay.
I'm sure most of you guys know, but the tires in like Japan and China, especially, China's even more uncorked. It's like basically an RC drift car. You know, the
Yeah.
tires are foam. They feel
Yeah.
like foam, and you feel
Yeah, they're
all of
sticky
our
as hell. Yeah.
and like a Hoosier race tire or a slick,
Yeah.
that's sticky, right? You touch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
foam. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've never seen such shitty setup cars do wheelies. Like
Really?
insane. It's insane. But it was just a totally different way to drive to the DOS system. The DOS system really rewarded is speed, flicks, and aggressiveness and smoothness on the throttle. So if you pick up the throttle, you stay on the throttle. Feathering the throttle and getting the car to undulate and change directions would plummet your DOS score. So you would
Really?
have to figure out, and me and my spotter, Daniel, we would be talking constantly and watching everyone run and then see their score and break down their sector and be like, this is why he got this score in sector 3. And did you see that additional snap? Like, that's
Yeah.
what we need. Where normally in Formula Drift, if you're smooth and wide, it's the same thing as smooth and snappy. Same thing. Doesn't
Right,
matter.
yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
super rewarded on these tiny little things. And it would come down to, okay, where normally you would just toss the car and touch the handbrake. Now you have to throttle, then toss the car, then hit the brakes, and then at the very last second hit the handbrake. And the difference between what I just said and then
Right.
this most recent way might be like a 3 or 4 point score in the DOS system, which
Wow.
might be from first place to 27th place. It's so crazy. But one of my favorite moments in doing all the D1 stuff in China was I was just getting out tired. I'd qualify in the top 5 constantly because I feel like we really figured out the
Right.
box, right? The DOS system. It was so hard, but we figured out we were so happy. And then I would go into battle. First battle, I generally get through. Second battle, see a big dog on some sick tires and just get smoked.
Wow.
Smoked.
And
Definitely, I was not as good of a driver as I am now. Sure,
Right.
maybe there's some better stuff that I could do, but I was just getting smoked. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. It was like 3 rounds of just getting annihilated, getting knocked out in
Yeah.
16. And I was like, I'm done with this. I'm going to start messing with these dudes. Like, they mess with each other, they mess with me. And
Yeah.
like, I'm not talking about the simple just brake check stuff, but you
Right.
would do things like leading a driver into a position that made them make a correction.
Yep.
So
okay.
I would like leave the starting line and then wait, and then take off on them, and then
Yeah.
toss it in. And D1 doesn't have any. They do now. They have line, but they don't
Right.
have like an actual line score before back then,
Right.
or
Okay.
designated line. So I would throw it in super wide, like bumper up against the foams, and just
Yeah.
wait. And then when you see them closing in, then you take off and you drive to the inside of the
Yeah.
track, and then they have to make a correction. And once I figured that out, I was like, I got a podium right away. I did
Oh
pretty
my
good on the next
gosh.
track. And then the funniest part, and I kind of felt like a dirtbag, right? Definitely, I'm like, man, I don't know if I wanted to win like that or do these battles like that.
Right.
The lead judge himself came up to me and he was just like, great driving, Matt. Very smart driving.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
like, all right, this is the
All
way
right.
yeah, that's the way that it was. It was fun. But that's,
Wow.
again, it's just a totally different driving style. It's more like a
Mhm.
chess game versus a boxing match.
Right.
And all
Okay.
the other drivers are doing the same thing. You'll see them
Yep.
hook big angle and wait. They're not brake
Mhm.
checking. They're not doing all the super obvious things. They're like
Yeah.
leading you into angle. Go
Mhm.
wide, then chop off your line and make you straighten out.
Yep.
I've seen guys
Wow.
get hit and the lead driver caused the collision, but it's like you got hit, so it's the chase driver's fault. You know, it's
Wow.
it's just a
That's
different
crazy.
world when it comes to a single judge drift series.